Is the Labour government devoted to the dismantling of the UK sovereignty? Is this government anti-British? From the EU to the WHO, from the Chagos Islands to now Gibraltar, Keir Starmer and David Lammy's Labour government is signing away UK sovereignty. But what is in it for the British people footing the bill? In this video, we look into David Lammy's announcement on Gibraltar's handover. Plus, we explore key leadership principles surrounding sovereignty. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel grow.
David Lammy, on behalf of this country, handed control of the border between our British territory, Gibraltar, and Spain, in other words, the EU, to the EU. So Brussels now controls that.
Today we have reached a historic solution that I believe is pragmatic and gives the people of Gibraltar the certainty they need for their sovereignty and their prosperity over the years ahead. This is a good arrangement that deals with the complexity of the current arrangements that mean that people have sometimes queued for hours and has harmed the certainty that business needs. And it deals with the issues that arose as a result of the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. It builds on the successful summit that the UK had with the EU just a few weeks ago. And now we have a forward momentum that ensures the sovereignty and the prosperity of the people of Gibraltar.
David Lammy, bloody hell, announces that Britain and Gibraltar have agreed a post-Brexit deal that will hand control of the territory's border to Europe. And a guy rang me and he said, sorry, he said, I'm not far right, I just need to ask this man a question, right? He said, so all the Labour government talks about is Britain's interests. Britain's interests. It's all about Britain's interests. He said, can you explain to me how it's in our interest that now another sovereign territory has been given away, the Spanish can get in there without showing anything, and we have to? And nobody will answer that. Slash, he said to me, the even worse news of the day, we gave away the Chagos Islands, and £30 billion. I know you know this. I just have to say it slowly because I can't believe it. Today, the Mauritian government have said, thank you very much indeed. We've managed with your money, Great Britain, to not only pay off our national debt, but we've told all Mauritians they won't be paying any income tax for the next 12 months. How in the name of God, right, are British people who are struggling supposed to respond to that, Brendan O'Neill? It's disgraceful.
Jeremy, I don't know how you stay sane.
No, I don't think I am.
Every day, because this is what we're living through is something actually really extraordinary and bluntly sinister, which is that we have a government that bit by bit is dismantling British sovereignty. It handed over the Chagos Islands and billions of pounds. It now is giving control of Gibraltar to EU officials, the borders, Gibraltar's borders. That's a real step down for British sovereignty. And of course, it's completely lost control of the English Channel, completely lost control of the borders in Kent and around the country generally. This is a government, I've said on your show before, this government doesn't care about British sovereignty. I think I was underestimating it. This is a government devoted to the dismantling of the sovereignty of this nation.
How frightening is that? How frightening is that, though? And people will say, oh, come on, guys, that's rhetoric. But is it? Is it?
Oh, all of those huge acts that they've taken over the past few months, Gibraltar, Chagos Islands, the borders in general, and bringing in more illegal migrants, it speaks to a complete and utter neglect and disregard for sovereign rights of the United Kingdom. The reason that's important is because you can't have a real healthy democracy unless you have a sovereign country. Also, you can't have a safe country unless you have a sovereign country, unless you know who's coming over your borders, whether it's here or in Gibraltar or anywhere else, why they're coming and what they're doing. So this is a government that is constitutionally anti-British. In its very bones, in its very heart, this is a government that doesn't understand Britain's interests and is willing to sell them for cheap on the international market. It's horrendous.
Just very quickly to sum up, people will listen and they go, oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Where do you see this ending briefly, Brendan?
You know, That's the $1 million question. But I do think tensions are bubbling up in this country, and it could get pretty nasty. We've already seen it under this government. We've already seen the horrible riots that followed the Southport massacre, when the country just boiled over and exploded and went absolutely insane. Anyone who thinks that those kinds of tensions and conflicts have just been solved and a lid's been put on top of them and therefore it's all over, I'm sorry, you're living in cloud cuckoo land.
And very quickly, because you're a good person to answer this, what would you say to people who would say, yeah, but Jez, what you don't understand is your station, people like that, when you're talking like you are, you're saying to people, oh, come on. I'm not. I'm saying, why have we not got politicians who cannot understand that hard-working, everyday, normal Brits are at the back of the queue and are at the back of they're thinking, this is not fair or right any longer?
That's what ordinary Brits feel, that their lives, their savings, their communities are being sacrificed at the altar of ideology. They're being sacrificed by this government at the altar of crazy ideas to do with post-sovereignty, post-borders, asylum, etc., etc. People feel that they're just being taken for a ride by the government that is supposed to represent their interests and their lives. And when people feel like that, there comes a certain point when they think, we've had enough and something's got to change.
Is it strange that neither King Charles nor Prince William has spoken out as Keir Starmer and David Lammy are eroding UK sovereignty with moves like the Gibraltar handover? Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, President Trump continues to provide Canada with military protection. With Canada running a significant trade deficit with the US, Trump has suggested that it becomes America's 51st state, eliminating tariffs if they do. Could King Charles be secretly concerned about Trump's continual mentions of Canada becoming America's 51st state? If so, then why are the royals mute on the erosion of Britain's sovereignty right here at home? In words of Dr. Miles Monroe, when a nation loses its sovereignty, it loses wealth and power. A nation's strength lies in its land and its people. But when sovereignty is eroded through deals that compromise borders or resources, citizens lose trust in their leaders. It sends a clear message that those in power are not able to manage the land and resources that the nation has been blessed with. So why does one man's decision allow this erosion of a nation's sovereignty to happen? It boils down to leadership, or the lack of it. Strong leaders, no matter where they are, prioritize their nation's sovereignty, build trust, and defend its interests. Yet in Britain, critical decisions about Gibraltar's future, a cherished British territory, seems to bypass the people. Where were the MPs from every constituency in shaping these choices? Why hasn't the British public had a vote to protect their nation's interests? Where is the court ruling to clarify the shift? Are the voices of the British people and those in Gibraltar being heard? This raises big questions about who's truly leading. Share your thoughts in the comments. What does this mean for Britain's future? If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.